We are pleased to welcome our first guest this morning. He is the mayor of the city of Vicksburg, Mississippi. He is George Flaggs. Mr. Mayor, good morning.
Well, good morning, Richards, and how you doing?
I'm doing well. I appreciate some time. Really excited to talk to you about some of the things that are going on in Vicksburg. But before we do that, I want to give you an opportunity to do something. I know that you had a great relationship with Paul Gallo, and loved listening to the conversations that the two of you had through the years. And I was just wondering if, as a way to honor his memory, if you wanted to go ahead and declare your allegiance to the Republican Party this morning.
Not quite. But let me just say this, though. Let me just say that Paul was an awesome man, and he was a man of honesty and integrity. And I really appreciate
Amen.
him. I pray for him and his family. And I didn't get a chance to express because I didn't have any contact information. It happened so fast. But I was hurt and still hurting because of the fact is that Paul was the one that brought me to the show, and he started to broadcasting me. And so for that, I'm grateful, and I'll always be thankful for what he did. And he's an awesome man. That's what I can say. And I lift him up and I pray for him and his family.
Well, and Mayor Flaggs, it was really a treat to listen to the two of you through the years, because you were a regular guest with Paul, and what started, I'm assuming, as a relationship on the radio, didn't it turn into a genuine friendship?
Oh, absolutely. On and off the radio. Paul was always straightforward with me, and I was always able to relate to him. And in fact, I remember him coming to the Capitol and said, "Hey, young man, you need to come to my show, come to my studio, and be a part of it." And he said, "Oh, don't be scared because, I was the Black Caucus at that time, and I stepped out on faith." And I think I'm part of with Dampo and others. We did some things on and off the show together. I drove to the coast to do an interview with Paul, and I'm just telling you, Richard, the I earned the respect of Paul, and Paul earned my respect, and I will never regret the first time he invited me on the show. All the quotes, thing, he never misquoted me. And in fact, he'd take me, so he couldn't misquote me because he would always play them back in my face. So I forgot. Hey, Richard, I forgot I was on the radio, and everything on the radio was being quoted and being taped. I mean, so I don't know what you call that, stupid, or just didn't understand.
Or maybe just honest, because to me that was one of the great things, was the two of you didn't necessarily see the world through the exact same prism, but you were honest with each other and you had real conversations about issues. And Paul brought one perspective to the conversation, and you brought a different perspective.
Well, one of the things that we aligned ourselves with is that, I'm pro-life. I never voted for one tax in my whole life, and that was the tax on the cigarettes, because I was led to believe that when you tax cigarettes, you reduce the consumption of the cigarettes smoking. So, and secondary smoke was just as bad as smoking. So, Haley Barber, never forget, called me in his office and convinced me of that. Other than that, my 26 years in the legislature, my 12 years as mayor of the city, I have never raised taxes.
Well, that's part of the reason that people think highly of you. One of many reasons, and this is a special time for the city of Vicksburg. A time to celebrate, to look into the past, but also look into the future. Bicentennial of a city in Mississippi that has as much, if not more, history than any of the cities in our state.
Oh, absolutely. And let me just say this because it's 200 years, and you know what can go from 1825 to now. What gone on through the history? We made a lot of strides. We made a lot of progress, and we did a lot, and we was able to overcome a lot. And the siege of Vicksburg was real, and because of that, I believe that we're better now than we ever been before, and we continue to want to look at that. I'm one of these guys, and I said emphatically that I don't run from history. I run to history because history is what makes me who I am. Because I'm able to overcome some of the challenges, some of the adversity that history put on me. I'm not afraid because I tie history with and the understanding of history with biblical sense is that by faith. And I believe that God is real. And I believe that if I continue to live by faith and trust Him, we'll be able to do that. And I'm so honored. It's the highest honor that you can bestow upon a black man as being mayor of a city where the siege of Vicksburg took place 200 years ago. And I would not regret that. I'd take it to heaven.
Well, and Mayor Flaggs, you and the city and the residents there have embraced the history and have preserved the history of the city of Vicksburg. I love hearing you say that we're not going to run from the past. We're going to embrace the past and learn from it and continue to honor that, because while I would say, and you correct me if I'm wrong on this, the history of the city of Vicksburg is not all good, right? I mean, like the history of the state of Mississippi is not all good, but it's not necessarily who we are today either.
But absolutely not. And I couldn't have said it no better. But Richard, what you have to do, you have to stay at the table and you have to be about changing that history. I can remember right today when I used to go home and cry to my dad and say, Daddy, I'm the only black in the room. I'm the only person in the room. They call me Republican. They call me boy. They call me that. You know what he told me? A man that couldn't read and write. He said, Joey, you it. And you represent all of us. Whatever you do, represent it with integrity.
Your dad sounds like he was a wise man. Tell me a little bit more about him.
He was a great man. He couldn't read and write, but he could understand. I remember him sending us to the military power to learn how to read from the statue. I remember reading the Bible to him, Richard, early in the morning before going to work. And he interpreted and comprehended that Bible better than I did. And so for that, I'm grateful that I was reared by a man that was that smart. So I don't know how smart I am, but I know that the DNA got to be somewhere in me because it's in my grandchildren, in my son.
Tell me about what you're doing in Vicksburg to celebrate a 200-year birthday.
We're starting today with a proclamation with the lieutenant governor over here, and we're going to present that proclamation to not only to the city, but to the state and to this world to let them know we're still open, we're still around 200 years, and at the same time, we want to be able to say that we've made progress. We're having symposium, and we're having a parade this evening, and we're going to do some things. So we're going to do this in quarters. This is going to be the first quarter of it. Then we're going to do the fireworks show in July. We're going to do all of this. We're going to do a parade. We got to celebrate like never before. And if one person comes, that's good. And if 300,000 people come, that's good. But we cannot eradicate what's in our hearts and minds and souls.
I love it. So, in terms of the celebration, obviously the proclamation today is happening there. I'm assuming at City Hall, but in terms of location of some of the events that are going to happen going forward.
Well, it'll be at 2:00 at the Otis Williams Auditorium, and we'll do it through a showcase of that proclamation. And I'm telling you, Richard, I could not be more honored to have been elected as mayor of this city in such a time.
12 years? Is that what you said? 12 years as mayor of
12,
Vicksburg?
12 years, and ironically, I qualified Monday at 12 o'clock. I usually do things at 12 o'clock in the day and on somebody's birthday in my family, so I've qualified, and I think I have a pathway to the future. I think I've done what I'm supposed to do. Uh, you can't worry about what they say on social media. I'm going to do a fact check at the end of this. So I feel good. But what we cannot do is take the focus off this great celebration of this day, and that is a day when we honor Vicksburg and we salute Vicksburg.